The Boston Celtics just made a huge move as they send their 2023 draft pick Jordan Walsh down to the G League with the Maine Celtics. We'll be talking about the implications of this move for the Celtics going forward, plus a surprising statistic surrounding Derrick White and Jaylen Brown as they lead the team in a certain stat. And finally, a stat about the Celtics starting five that blows the rest of the NBA out of the water. So you'll want to stick around for all of that on this episode of Celtics Digest. But before we get into the video, a quick reminder to all of you fine people watching this video, the thousands of you who are watching that are not subscribed, hit the button down below. Guys, we're almost at 2,000 subscribers. Come on, you want to say you're one of the first 2,000 subscribers of Celtics Digest, right? Hit the button down below. We got content like this every single day, all season long. Let's pop right into the first thing. And we got an insane Celtics starters stat. That's a lot of sounds, but let's just jump right into it. Jay King tweeted this, and now it's an incredibly small sample size, so take it with a grain of salt, of course. But the new Celtics starting lineup of Derrick White, Jrue Holiday, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis has outscored opponents by 35 points over its first 54 minutes this season. That group outscored the Wizards by 21 points in 14 minutes last night. A performance like that will skew the numbers, of course, but the Celtics' first unit had a net rating of 19 over 40 minutes before that. And net rating is a per 100 possession stat, how much you expect to outscore the other team. So, first of all, a 19 net rating for any lineup is absolutely ridiculous. But to be that positive, right? And we're going to flash it up again, right? 35 points over its first 54 minutes. That's just over a game. That's a game and half of a quarter. The Celtics starting five is outscoring the other team by 35 points. You're like, well, yes, the starting five, they should score more than other teams in general, right? Well, no, think about it. Their starting five is playing against other teams' starting fives as well. Now, again, we played what might end up being the worst team in the NBA this year, the Washington Wizards. I don't want to ever watch another Celtics Wizards game again, honestly. Like, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum each with 30 plus through three quarters. Looked like it was completely effortless. Sorry, Jordan Poole. I'm not a fan. Ranked so much higher than Derrick White on the list. Can you believe that? The ESPN top 100. But regardless, right? This is just an insane stat. And a lot of people talked about the Celtics bench depth not being ideal this year. And of course, with the recent injury to Neemias Queta, it's getting even shorter. And while Al Horford's still got some left in him, and Payton Pritchard is doing Payton Pritchard things, Sam Hauser has not quite done what we wanted this season, especially last game against the Wizards. Actually, we'll get into that in just a minute. But the Celtics bench has been fine. It's been fine. It's been holding their own. But the Celtics starters have really, really been the leaders of this team, and that's what we all expected. But did we all expect the Celtics starters to be this much better than their opponents? And again, super small sample size. They've only played 54 minutes together through a few games, but if that kind of stat continues, it won't stay that high, but if that continues, we're looking at a championship run for sure, right? Like, there's very few starting lineups in the NBA that I think that can compete with the Celtics right now. And I mean, people talk about the Denver Nuggets, which definitely have a great starting five, and you're going to have to put Kristaps Porzingis on Nikola Jokic probably. And then you got the Bucks, where you got Damian Lillard, you got Giannis, and you have Brook Lopez, which means you need someone on the court to guard Giannis and Lopez pretty much at all times. How are the Celtics going to deal with that? These are questions we'll figure out as we go through the season. But for now, the Celtics starters look absolutely phenomenal. The dynamics between offense and defense, playmaking and ISO scoring, spreading the floor and crashing the glass, driving the paint, it's just really a perfect combo for the Celtics right now, and it's a really, really awesome stat that shows that. But we got another stat that's really, really interesting. I keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. This Brown update is unreal. It's not just Jaylen Brown, but Jaylen Brown's kind of the main focus of this. So there was a tweet. I'm just going to show the tweet by Dan Greenberg. Jaylen Brown being tied with Derrick White for the team lead with 22 potential assists. Potential assists, for those of you that don't know, is basically passes to a teammate who shoot, and it assumes that that player makes all their shots. So a team lead with 22 potential assists is not something I think anyone saw coming, and it might be my favorite part of his start. And Derrick White, yeah, he's a solid playmaker. Jrue Holiday, you expect to be up there as well. He has been passing very well, but 22 potential assists. Like, Jaylen Brown's passing has been, honestly, I don't think I've seen anyone mention it outside of maybe some Celtics communities where obviously we watch the games, we see Jaylen Brown improving, and like, where are the left hand memes now after he dropped 36 and 3/4 against the Wizards? Unbelievable. But his passing, Jaylen Brown's passing, and that's something that really elevated Jayson Tatum from star to superstar status, is when he was able to deal with double teams. First of all, that was a big weakness of his, if you guys remember, which a lot of you probably do, dealing with double teams, passing out of them, and then also finding the open man when he was driving. He sometimes had blind spots. But Jaylen Brown so far has been making perfect passes. And is he averaging that many assists per game? No, not yet. But that's part of the reason. Part of the reason that's because some of the guys he's passing to are not making his shots, right? Like, people were saying, if Pritchard and Sam Hauser shot their career averages from three, off Jaylen Brown passes, he would be averaging about 5 assists, more than 5 assists a game. And so right now, his playmaking, like he's finding the guys in the right spots. And it's just that they haven't been hitting as many shots as maybe they should have. Derrick White, we expect to see there at the top of a potential assist stat, right? But Jaylen Brown, that's something that's really changing with his game. And it's something that has definitely been noticeable to me. Let me know down below if you've noticed it as well. Jaylen Brown keeping his eyes up. It's finding the open teammate more than he may be used to. And I think just having the sheer amount of offensive threats that the Celtics do right now, ball movement has been really, really good. I mean, you get ISO scoring still occasionally. That first game of the season still showed a lot of ISO scoring, but Tatum's out there dropping 30, but you got KP stretching the floor. You got Horford who can still bang some threes. Hauser's a three-point shooter. You got Brissett crashing the glass, getting second chances. It's all working out well, but yeah, underrated stat from Jaylen Brown. But the big news from today is Jordan Walsh. And he was sent down to Maine. And I saw some Celtics fans were a bit surprised by this, but honestly, to me, I wasn't. And I actually think this is the best thing that they could possibly do. Just a little tweet from the Celtics themselves. We have assigned Jordan Walsh to the Maine Celtics. Still a bit weird not seeing it say Red Claws, but yeah, I don't know. Am I the only one that finds it weird that it says Celtics and not Red Claws now? I mean, I guess it makes sense, Celtics, but yeah, anyway, I like the name Red Claws. But yeah, Jordan Walsh has been sent down. Now, Jordan Walsh hasn't gotten any run this season. He hasn't played, right? And the Celtics just haven't found a way to put him into a game. They've been leaning on guys like a guy like Oshae Brissett to kind of eat up those minutes. And while Jordan Walsh looked really good in the summer league, I got his stats. He averaged 16 and 4 in the summer league with a steal in 27 minutes. He looked phenomenal defensively and actually shot 41% from 3 on his 27 three-point attempts in the summer. That's a far cry from his 28% in college. 38th overall in the 2023 draft, of course, and he showed so much promise. I think a lot of people during Summer League said, wow, the Celtics found another steal in the draft. How do we keep letting him get away with this, right? I mean, well, another steal. These guys like, Neesmith and Langford that didn't quite pan out. It's not like we hit on every single draft pick, but we've not been bad. But Jordan Walsh looks like the real deal. He looks like he'll definitely be part of this rotation in the future, especially defensively. Like, this guy is just phenomenal, but he was showing his ability to score as well. He's quite a solid rebounder, elite defender. The guy can dunk. He's athletic. He's just kind of all over the court, and you can't seem to ever escape him. But right now, the best thing for Jordan Walsh, in my opinion, let me know if you agree or disagree down below. I love to hear your opinion regardless, is that Jordan Walsh needs reps. Right, a guy like this who's very, very raw coming out of college. Like, it's not often you see a guy already being hyped up like Jordan Walsh was this summer for the Celtics, who averages like 7 and 4 in college on 28% from 3. Right, really not like stats that do not pop off the page. In fact, you'd glance over him if he was on basically any college team or maybe even any NBA team with those stats. But the thing is, he has the tools. He's an elite defender. He has the ability to crash the glass. He can dunk the ball. He's shown flashes of being a very solid shooter. But right now, with a guy who's still quite raw, you need to get him reps. He's going to go down to Maine, and he's almost certainly going to start for the Maine Celtics. You want him out there. You want him getting reps from 3. You want him driving in. You want him to get a feel for this pro ball. The G League's a very good league, as a lot of you know, right? Like, these guys are just a tier below the NBA players, and if you can dominate the G League, it can often mean that you can play in the NBA. I mean, look at Neemias Queta. Right? Queta himself was the runner-up for MVP just last season, and he came in and is making a case over Luke Kornet for the Celtics' backup big spot, right? Like, it's a good league, and I think it'd be perfect for Jordan Walsh to just hone his skills, hone his three-point shooting, hone his defense and the quickness at this higher pace, right, than college, higher skill level than college, and that's exactly how you want to develop a guy like this. So I don't think it's surprising. I was actually, I was quite happy when I read this because, like I said, it's the perfect situation for Jordan Walsh, at least in my opinion. And I really, really hope that we see him dominate in Maine and hopefully see him with the Celtics before the season is out. But that'll do it for this episode of Celtics Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 2K subs. If you guys can get us over that hump, if you're still watching right now, if you're hearing my voice right now, even if it's on in the background, here, come back here. Hey, you hit subscribe because you're watching at this point in the video. We're over 9 minutes in. You clearly enjoyed it, or you had clearly listened to the whole thing. So thank you for all your support. My name is Josh Gosse. I'll catch you in the next one.